Good afternoon. My name is Dr. Kimberly McNair, and I have the pleasure of serving Montgomery College as the Associate Senior Vice President for Student Affairs. Welcome to the 2024 Dr. Harry Harden, Jr. Student Academic Excellence Awards. I am very excited about this celebration. Along with our outstanding students, we have some special guests here to celebrate. Would you please stand when I call your name? Please join me in welcoming Montgomery College Vice Presidents and Provosts. From the Rockville campus, Dr. Eric Benjamin. From the Germantown campus, Dr. Mohammed Kanamui. And from the Tacoma Park Silver Spring campus, Dr. Brad Stewart. The college-wide Deans of Student Affairs. From the Rockville campus, Dr. Tanya Mason. From the Germantown campus, Mr. Marcus Penort. From the Tacoma Park Silver Spring campus, Ms. Janae McFadden. And we may have some of our Harry Harden Memorial Scholarship recipients in the audience. If so, please stand and be recognized. And joining me on the dais, Ms. Gloria Aparicio Blackwell, Second Vice Chair, Board of Trustees. Montgomery College President, Dr. Jermaine F. Williams. Ms. Kara Santucci, Keynote, Montgomery College Development and Alumni Relations Assistant Director. Ms. Karen Harden, sister of Dr. Harry Harden. Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs and College Provost, Dr. Deidre D. Price. And the Dr. Harry Harden Academic Excellence Medallion recipients. From the Germantown campus, Mr. Victor B. Mathias. From the Rockville campus, Mr. Andre J. Guadalupe. And from the Tacoma Park Silver Spring campus, Mr. Kweku Agyepong. Welcome. Today we are honoring the accomplishments of Montgomery College students college-wide. Students and families, you should be very proud. Students, the people who love you, your family, your friends, these are your roots. Roots rich in values and culture and in spirituality. We are all here to support and applaud you. It is a pleasure to congratulate you and to join in the celebration of your success. You are why we work so hard, and it gives us great pleasure to see your success. And we want you to continue with your success and to complete your goals. It is now my pleasure to introduce Montgomery College President, Dr. Jermaine F. Williams. Thank you for joining us this afternoon, Dr.
Williams. Thank you, Dr. McNair. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. All right, fantastic. Awesome. Again, thank you, Dr. McNair. Welcome to the honorees, their families, faculty, and staff. Today, as you heard, is a celebration of academic excellence. Right? We are honoring some extraordinary students today. Let's give them another round of applause. They have committed to a level of intellectual rigor that embodies the best of Montgomery College. They have chosen to nurture their talent and expand their horizons. To the honorees today of the Dr. Harry Harden Academic Excellence Awards, you have accomplished something remarkable, both personally and academically. You have shown yourselves to possess a discipline that has promoted you to the highest levels of achievement, earning a 3.5 GPA over 2 semesters with 24 credits is an absolutely remarkable accomplishment that you should be very proud of. Yes. And I realize that many of you are also working or parenting or active in your communities, so you have many other responsibilities. I hope that any challenges you faced pushed you to dig deeper, to try harder, and to work differently. These are skills that I can assure you will carry over into the next chapters of your lives. To get to today, you have leaned into your strengths and built upon your successes, and you've asked for help when you needed it. If success were a formula, it would include these elements. As you move on to your next venture, bring your memory of this success with you and guard your self-confidence, because it will nurture more achievement and even more successes. Now, while I didn't know Dr. Harden personally, I understand that he was a staunch advocate for students, and that resonates with me. As a former vice president for student affairs, I've spent years focused on what helps students get connected, feel invested, and achieve success. What I have learned about Dr. Harden is that he was a trailblazer at Montgomery College. He was an instructor at the Rockville campus Student Development Office who eventually established the Black and African American Student Achievement Awards program in 1989. He earned a doctorate himself, modeling achievement in his own life, and he eventually became an associate professor at the college who was heralded as a catalyst for student success. I share that because to some extent, we all stand on the shoulders of those who came before us. I want to acknowledge Dr. Harry Harden's work at the college and what it has done to create and culture and structure achievement. I think he would be proud that Montgomery College truly is a place where students discover their passions and unlock their potential to transform lives, enrich the community, and change the world. I also, before I sit down, I want to give a shout out to all the faculty, staff, family, and friends who are here and have supported today's honorees. Can we please give them a round of applause? We all benefit from support, and we need to uplift and amplify that support in every moment we can. So, as I end, and again, I want to share and uplift the honorees for their excellence along this remarkable journey. Congratulations again. Your achievement is awesome. So congratulations again, everybody.
Thank you, Dr. Williams, for those inspirational words. Now it is my great honor to introduce our keynote speaker, Ms. Cara Santucci. Ms. Santucci currently serves as the Assistant Director of Development and Alumni Relations at Montgomery College. She is a committed professional and a proud alumna of Montgomery College. She earned her associate's degree at MC in 2016, where she also served as Vice President of the Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society. Cara continued her education at the University of Maryland's Robert H. Smith School of Business, graduating in 2018. A dedicated community member, she is a graduate of the Leadership Montgomery Class of 2020 and actively participates on the boards of Gaithersburg Health and the Montgomery College Alumni Board. Cara is also the Director of Partnerships at the MoCo Show. Her commitment to giving back and supporting her community is evident through her work and active involvement in varied initiatives. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Cara Santucci.
Thank you, Dr. McNair. Good afternoon, everyone. I am deeply honored to stand before you today on this special occasion, celebrating your remarkable accomplishments alongside you and your loved ones. Your presence here is a testament to your hard work and dedication, and you should all feel immensely proud. Today, we are paying tribute to you for receiving the Dr. Harry Harden Jr. Student Academic Excellence Award and honoring his legacy. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to the entire staff whose tireless efforts have made today possible. As I was preparing for today, it was important for me to understand the personal impact Dr. Harry Harden had on those close to him, and speak with those who knew and worked with him. And I have to say, it is so rare to find people that you encounter in life that had such a deep impact on so many people as Dr. Harden did. He gave freely of himself without expectation or reward. He gently and effectively moved throughout Montgomery College and the community, spreading encouragement and praise. He helped others and supported those on their way for achieving their goals. He advocated for the development of scholarships and funds, and when those funds did not fully address needs, he used his personal resources to fill the gaps. In staff meetings, he would hand out inspirational poems and quotes to encourage his staff and make a personal impact. Even though Dr. Harden passed away at an early age, his powerful legacy continues to resonate and inspire us all. When we talk about legacy, it's natural to think of those who have more years behind them than ahead. Not too long ago, I stood where many of you sit today, a graduate of Montgomery College. My journey was marked by challenges including financial constraints and hardships in high school. But one thing I always knew was that I wanted to major in business. In fact, my family and I still laugh today because in elementary school, I didn't like candy. So when we would trick or treat for Halloween, I would sell my candy to the neighborhood and all the students there. A step further, when all my friends were asking for new bikes, I just wanted a real cash register. As I made my way to high school, the challenges that I was experiencing personally, academically, and financially impacted my grades and my choices for higher education. This caused me to lose confidence in my potential. So I had two choices. I could choose a university, but I had to select a major that would enable me to qualify for in-state tuition, which meant I had to choose a major in environmental engineering. Now, I have full respect for that major, but my candy sales and cash register experience definitely didn't prepare me for that. I also had the opportunity that if I stayed in the area, that I would get promoted to being a general manager of 2 stores. This is where I believe the first seed of knowing my potential was planted. But to be honest, I was scared. I was scared I didn't know if I could get good grades. I was scared I couldn't be successful as a general manager. And I was scared I couldn't handle the commitment of going to school full-time and working full-time and potentially fail at both. I embraced the challenge and committed to the path wholeheartedly. And while MC wasn't my first choice initially, it quickly became the best decision I have ever made. Despite facing challenges in high school, I successfully elevated the stores that I managed to the top 20 in the country while managing 100 employees and maintaining a 4.0 GPA. Additionally, I received the Camille Kendall Endowed Scholarship, which provided me financial support and connected me with a mentor from the MC Alumni Board. I knew I wanted to have a memorable impact on my peers around me, So I became the vice president of the Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society, which gave me the opportunity to travel to China and meet with other business leaders there. My journey through my professional life was moving at a rapid pace, but I knew deep down that I wanted to do more and create a lasting impact. So during the challenging times of COVID, I took another leap of faith, and I started my own business to support nonprofits with advertising, and that endeavor led me to the partnership with the MoCo Show. It reignited my passion for making a difference, which led me back to my roots at Montgomery College, the very place that helped me reach my potential that I didn't see in myself. I will forever be grateful to the staff, mentors, and donors that invested in my success. Now I am privileged to work in the development department at MC, a place that supported me when I was a student. Over the past 7 years, I have served on the alumni board and marketing committee, the very committee that assisted me when I received my scholarship. I now have the privilege to connect with alumni from across the nation and collaborate to support scholarships and current students. It's a full circle journey that fills me with gratitude and a sense of purpose every day. See, legacy isn't only what you leave behind. Legacy is developed by seeds being sown in everyday decisions. To build a legacy, you have to be willing to take risks and step outside of your comfort zone and believe in yourself. You can create a legacy mindset today. You may not know this, but you have already started planting seeds of your legacy, and it doesn't stop here. When you graduate, your next chapter is just beginning. See, the one thing that is required to build a legacy is time, and time is not guaranteed. Each year, day, minute counts. And as we learned from Dr. Harry Harden's life, you are never too old or too young to start making a difference. Dr. Harry Harden's journey faced challenges, yet he always persevered, demonstrating resilience and determination. I have faced many challenges and doubts from many, but here I am with immense honor standing before all of you with pride and gratitude. Every day, each of us supports legacies. Consider brands like Marriott, Abercrombie & Fitch, Gucci, Procter & Gamble, Hilton, and many others. Your name has the potential to carry significance. As you sit here today thinking about your legacy, how do you want people to remember you? How do you want to make a difference? Who will you inspire? What causes do you care about? One day, we could be writing about you and your impact and the legacy that you leave behind. I want to leave you with one of the poems Dr. Harry Harden shared with his staff. The title is Plant Your Garden Today, and the author is anonymous. First, plant 3 rows of peas: patience, promptness, and prayer. Next, plant 3 rows of squash: squash gossip, squash indifference, squash criticism. Next, 3 rows of lettuce. Let us obey the Lord, let us be loyal, and let us be true to our obligations. Finish with 4 rows of turnips. Turn up when needed, turn up with a smile, turn up with a vision, and turn up with determination. So I pass this baton to you to continue to sow seeds into your garden of life in hopes that one day someone could be speaking on stage about you and your life and your legacy, just like I had the privilege to do today. Thank you, everyone, and congratulations on this incredible accomplishment.
Thank you, Ms. Santucci. We appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to be with us and share. And now we have a wonderful treat for you this afternoon. Please enjoy this performance by Montgomery College student, Miss Emily N. Maynard, who will sing Bridge Over Troubled Water by Simon and Garfunkel.
When you're weary, feeling small, when tears are in your eyes, I will dry them all. I'm on your side. Oh, when times get rough and friends just can't be found, like a bridge over troubled water, I will lay me down. Like a bridge over troubled water, I will lay me down. Ooh. When you're down and out, when you're on the street, when evening falls so hard, I will comfort you. I'll take your part. Oh, when darkness comes and pain is all around, like a bridge over troubled water, I will lay me down. Like a bridge over troubled water, I will lay me down. Ooh. Sail on, silver girl, sail on by. Your time has come to shine. All your dreams are on their way. See how they shine. Oh, if you need a friend, I'm sailing right behind. Like a bridge over troubled water, I will ease your mind. Like a bridge over troubled water, I will ease your mind.
Emily, thank you so much for sharing your special talent with us. Next, we will have reflections from the Harden family, which is represented by Miss Karen Harden. Karen is the sister of the late Dr. Harry Harden. She is incredibly committed to this event, to students, and she's never missed a celebration. In fact, she flies here every year, all the way from California, to help us recognize and celebrate students' accomplishments. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Harden back to MC and to the podium to offer a few reflections and remarks.
Thank you, Dr. McNair. Good afternoon. Reflections of the Dr. Harry Harden Jr. Dr. Harry Harden Jr. resided in California most of his life. After completing high school, he received his bachelor's degree from the University of California, Davis, his master's degree from California State University, San Francisco, and his Doctor of Philosophy from the American University in Washington, D.C. He was a devoted member of the Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity. Thank you. In 1986, Dr. Harden joined Montgomery College as a student counselor at the Rockville Campus Student Development Office. In 1987, Dr. Harden earned an associate professor position. In 1993, he became the Dean of Student Development at the Germantown campus. In 1994, he began teaching graduate students at Johns Hopkins University and Bowie State University. Dr. Harden loved learning and teaching, and he was a man of great intellect with a big heart. The character of the life he lived might be summarized in a few words: sincere, earnest, loyal, industrious, and self-sacrificing. He endeavored to mentor and support those he led and served, and whom he reached out to him for assistance. He was a man of very high standards, unquestionable integrity, and boundless enthusiasm for whatever task he undertook. Harry was respected by his students and colleagues for his unusual compassion and notable ability to reach out to those in need of any special assistance. Many who knew him can easily recall the candor of his speech, the courage of his faith, the warmth and glowing brightness of his friendship. He never dodged responsibility or refused a challenging assignment. What he preached, he practiced. What he believed with his heart and his soul. He fought hard for every cause he enlisted that he felt would be good, right, and beneficial to others. Dr. Harden cared so much about students that he dedicated his time and efforts to helping many, even their families, confront and overcome personal, academic, and financial barriers. He advocated for the development of scholarships, funds, and loans to help students in monetary crisis. When those funds did not fully address the needs of his personal resources, he sought assistance from his friends and colleagues to fill the gaps. He encouraged everyone he encountered to pursue his or her dreams, no matter what the challenges may be. His positive spirit served as a shining beacon of encouragement, hope, and inspiration to all. In his daily life, Dr. Harden demonstrated humility, kindness, and respect, which he instilled in his students and colleagues. He often reminded them that everyone's job was instrumental in the learning and operations of the institution. He was a quiet leader who encouraged and brought tremendous success to others. He drew little attention to himself and would be alarmed by the accolades and attention that are being endowed on him. He understood the importance of celebrating academic achievement. In 1989, with the help of his colleagues, he established a Montgomery College academic awards program to recognize and inspire high-achieving students of Black and African American descent. This program expands to honor all high-achieving students, which now honors his efforts posthumously. In closing, on behalf of my late brother Harry, my late parents, my family, Harry's colleagues and friends who worked extremely hard to continue and expand this awards program renamed in his honor, Dr. Harry Harden Jr. Academic Excellence Awards, I thank you. To the students who are being recognized today for their high achievements, congratulations and best wishes in your future endeavors. Harry is smiling at you saying, "Well done." He is also smiling that we are using his heartfelt motto, "Every mountain can be climbed and every barrier can be removed." It can be done, but you must want to do it. Thank you. And I also want to thank the awards committee and the special events team for coordinating and ensuring the continuity of this program. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Harden, for sharing your reflections with us. And thank you for your continued support and for joining us once again this year for celebrations. Now, I am pleased to recognize 3 outstanding students who have received the Dr. Harry Harden Jr. Medallion. These individuals were nominated and selected for this honor because they demonstrated outstanding leadership on campus or in the community. They have maintained a cumulative GPA of 3.5 or higher. They have excelled in service to the college or community and have been approved for graduation and with an associate's degree. Would Trustee Ms. Aparicio Blackwell please come forward and introduce the 2024 Harry Harden Jr. Medallion recipients?
Thank you, Dr. McNair. Wow, what an amazing group. Could we just give them another round of applause to all these wonderful people? And to you for supporting the recipients today. Let's give it another round of applause to you. Woohoo! Yes, yes. This is one of the nicest and the greatest thing for me to be here today as a Board of Trustees. I was in the classroom many years ago, like you, learning English, because I didn't know anything. And I came to Montgomery College, and I got my education. I transferred to the University of Maryland, College Park, went around, and have given the way to come here to serve, to give back to this institution that have given me so much and serve as a Board of Trustees. I never imagined in my wildest dream to have this opportunity. So you can also have that opportunity to serve this amazing institution. But let's get back to what we're here today. We're here today to provide and celebrate our greatest students. Dr. William, could you join me here to then awarding these medallions? So our first recipient is Mr. Kwaiko Ajipong, the Tacoma Park Silver Spring Campus Medallion recipient. After graduation, Keiko plans to attend the University of Maryland Global Campus in the fall to finish his bachelor's degree in cybersecurity with a minor in computer science. Keiko also plans to work full-time for IT company Wideband System during the summer, where he has interned for almost 2 years now as a software testing intern. Congratulations, Keiko. Our next recipient, Mr. Oh, let me go back here. Mr. Andre Guadalupe, the Rockville Campus Medallion recipient after graduation. Andre plans to attend the University of Maryland at College Park to major in linguistics and neuroscience. He aims to pursue a graduate degree after completing his bachelor's and work in language acquisition research. Congratulations, Andre. Mr. Victor Matthias, the Germantown Campus Medallion recipient. After graduation, Victor plans to attend the University of Maryland for aerospace engineering. He plans to pursue an internship opportunity for NASA at the Goddard Space Flight Center to further his research in astronomy. Congratulations, Victor. We have a lot of people going to University of Maryland. Go Terps. Dr. McNeil.
Now I would like to welcome Dr. Deidre D. Price to the podium.
Good afternoon. I'm Dr. Deidre Price, Senior Vice President of Academic Affairs and College Provost. We will now turn to the portion of the program that I know we're all very, very excited about, recognizing students for their outstanding academic achievement. I want to reiterate that these individuals have achieved an outstanding 3.5 or higher grade point average in both the previous 2 semesters. In addition, these students accumulated minimally 24 credit hours across both semesters. Let's give them a round of applause. Of the 389 students meeting these rigorous criteria, 124 have achieved a perfect 4.0 GPA in both semesters. Join me, Dr. McNair, Dr. Williams, and others in giving them a huge round of applause. At this time, we will celebrate these students as their names are read and they come across the stage to be recognized. Dr. McNair, Dr. Williams, Trustee Aparicio Blackwell, and Ms. Karen Harden, please join me to form the congratulatory line.
Amanda Ferreira. Aranda Malarachi. Brittany Johnson. Alexis Houston. Noelia Linares. Leonardo da Silva. Samara Hussein. Ria Bhatt. Caitlin Walker. Nora Arabwasi. Sorry about that. Lauren Hockaday. Jenna Hockaday. Zoya Chen. Gerald Lacayo. Arthur Lamb. Alexandra Ozaga. Ni Thu Ka. Su Ne Chi Win. Abigail Ott. Rosemary Fuentes. Brianna McOgon. Adelaide Byers. Gael Castillo. Abigail Leku. Lex Racinos. Rachel Mogerula Akekadia. Sorry. Elizabeth Cruz. Zachary Silva. Thank you. Armand Sagmagili. Thank you. Ahmed Bakayoko. Joshua John. Ibsa Abadandi. Samavia Khan. Faith Thomas. Guy Stephanie Haliu. Rinaldi Bradley Bondomondo. T. Thano Yuen Tran. Gigi Wen. Sophia Flynn. Joshua Kingsinger. Dinashuka Gagoldigai. Caitlin Spenley. Joshua Tran. Brian Argueta. Jeff Wen. Stephanie Lau Muan Hui. Emma Mandwala. Rakesh Kanwar. Nimbus Kanwar. Dylan Goldberg. And your last. Olowatamlamer Adaneni. Sorry. Tanika Rose Brown. Kyra Lee Bowman. Ashley Moran. Shalia Simeon. Camila Velasquez. Christopher Arce. Sohrab Hashamian. William Tremlow. Margaret Georgiev. Sebastian Yanez. Danielle Harris. Shervin Sadu. Mateo Ramirez Gazo. Luis Cordero. Arik Hassan. Abel Mintensnot. Daniel Badman. William Chiang, David Chang, Ryan Anwar, Natalie Figuera, Dear Banwat. Hang on 1 second.
Tariana Tucker. Dina Clarabelle Rivera Castillo. Ariel B. Kane. Paula M. Macukila. Yuri A. Alvarez. Catherine A. Tomlin. Jameson Kilgore. Deliani Quintero Claros. Celine C. Davenport. Sean Nguyen. Kevin Miel. Sofia Pozo Andrade. Manvi Sharma. Sahana Auditon. Tara Muru Gayson. Jasmine E. Nguyen. Nikoi T. Foster. Damari Goodman. Ron Oxman. Felix Chubti. Kofi Mark Jr. Conan. David Lamboni. Aaron Nicole Cruz. Casey Atali Claverita. Shin La Woon. Milleray Fridados. Rachel Rodriguez. Tony Hernandez. Henry Max. Amira Johnson Taylor. Satina Kaniti. Frank Shanuha Tahani. Brian Schaefer. Ashley Moran. Josephine C. Akande Bent. Joshua C. Bendua. Justin C. Bendua. Stella L. Bowles. Mayron Nachi. Melanie T. Abad. Petra A. Timbe. Semra Turhan. Karian Kuseke. Lena Amor. Can't Pie. Daniel Nadia.
Jordan Butler. Alexa May Lorden. Elise Brooks. Nicholas Holmes. Ava Serna. Goveri Guribambang. Edna Reyes. Miguel Rivas. Torben Ruder. Camila Layana Gonzalez. Anand Kabidi. Sui Ta Sung. Fatima Mobidi. Yasmin A. Rivera Martinez. Rome Ashbrenner. Mandy Vo. Miriam Hernandez. Alankrita Srivastava. Susan Boruskin. Shoradam Alan Pei. Vivian Nicole Fenster-Seifer. Sylvia Lim Sil Ling. Lucia Fernandez de Bobadilla Perea. Aditya Raj Binyariya. Andrew Akiwumi. Denisha Jukitani Akaga. Bong Lin B. Win. Mayeni Daffy. Giovanna Henrianto. Diego Gonzalez Vigil Richter. Esteban Rincan. Juan Felipe Bertran. Adolfo Suarez Osorio. Runyararo William Mucheche. Fortumatu Gay. Devin Turcios. Laura Robbins. Kip Courier Nathan Serem. Getnet Warkula Mayu. Bimbari Nasher Marin. Maberu. Engine Maya. Malika Mason. Chowdhury Zaimi. Josephine Lunsford. Jenny Lee. Yancy Ramos. Monica Escalante Escobar. Casimir Lauston. Nicola Spindler. Sesson Emmanuel. Zora Geese. Colleen Caulfield. Samia Farheen. Alexandra Dove. Alphonse Mikhail Nimbus. Hadassah Sanders. Leonie Anna Mast. Anna Matosa. Josephine Reco. Alexis Mencia. Paola Cardona. Valerie Ralph Opara. Aida Mekonnen. Gracie Rosenbaum.
Again, congratulations, students. We're so proud of your accomplishments and look forward to great success from all of you in the future. Give yourselves a hand. This concludes our program. Students, please pick up your certificates during the reception. They are located at the tables where you checked in. Special thanks to the Student Affairs team, the Special Events team, and all of the other many units, volunteers, faculty, and staff that help support and coordinate this program. Guests, thank you very much for joining us today. Safe travels home.